Well, hey, guys, how are you? It is Allison from Allison Answers. I am so stinking grateful to be here today. We're going to start out with some funny, weird stuff about basics, okay? Bottom line is, we haven't been here in a while. Ryan is out. And the reason Ryan is out is because he had a baby. Ryan had a baby and he's been out of commission for a little while, taking care of his wife and baby girl. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Ryan and Ellie and little Audrey and say congratulations. I want to just let you guys know something super important, okay? That life is right now. And that is what's happening. Today, I am flying solo, and I'm grateful to be doing that. I'm grateful to be here today because it has been hard to get back on this podcast. And I am not going to bore you with the freaking details, but let me tell you something. It has been quite a doozy because our beautiful podcast electronic system has been on the fritz. So I've been having a hard time with our new locations because we also have two new locations, one in Wantagh, which is in Nassau County, Long Island, and one is in Suffolk County, Long Island also. And those locations have had new computer systems and all these different things that we've tried to adjust. And we've been like doing our podcast basically in the middle of shit, basically construction, just so much stuff going on. So it has been really fun, but it's also been a little bit of a challenge. So I'm just really grateful to be back. I'm grateful to be here at this moment just all by myself because I feel like there's so much stuff that I wanted to share. I started a Women of Excellence group. And what that is, it's a Facebook group. It's a private group. And what it's about is it's for women who are really, really devoted, really, really compelled to change the face of what the female experience is living on this earth. So basically what it is, it's really more of a movement. It's a mission. And the reason that I'm doing it is because I'm really sick and tired of my own thoughts, and I'm sick and tired of women struggling with the demons that are inside of them, basically the ongoing bullying that happens to women in regard to their own selves. Women in general are basically so unbelievably hard on themselves, and they are so chronically abused by their own inner voice that it is actually crippling them, holding them hostage, keeping them in a state where they really can't find happiness. They are in general in kind of this holding state where they're waiting for externals to determine their environment, to determine their outcomes, to determine how they feel about themselves, what they wear, what they do, how they think, if they say this thing, if they say this other thing. Women are struggling, and I'm just throwing that out there. And I am sure that a lot of men are out there struggling too, but with this same kind of experience. And I know they are because I see that in our practices. I see that with our clients, the males for sure. It may come in a different type of packaging, but it's the same kind of thing. And the bottom line is that we are so overly concerned about what other people think, how they see us, how they view us, if they approve of our choices. We actually have a whole dialogue that goes on inside of our mind pretty consistently. And if you will do what I'm about to ask you to do, which I'm going to ask you to be really, really aware. That's all I'm going to ask you today. Today's going to be a choice. It's going to be a choice to be really, really hyper aware of just the reality, the truth about what's going on inside your brain, your mind. So there's a lot I want to say about this. And if you listen to this and you take this to heart, your life will change. I can pretty much promise you that. I feel like sometimes I just want to scream and yell from the rooftops to explain to people that if you actually do these things that I'm talking about, your experience in life will not ever be the experience that you're having now. It will actually catapult you into success, into emotional wellness, emotional regulation, into sober-minded thinking, into better relationships, more hope in your life. For God's sakes, isn't it time that we actually grab hold of this beautiful life that's before us and actually create something that's incredible instead of following these kind of rules that have been handed down to us forever, for God's sakes? Do you understand how long we have been following rules that we don't even know why we're following them? The beginning of the rules come from the house we're born into, the relationships we're born into, the way in which we learned about if this is a friendly world or an unfriendly world, and how people interacted with us from the time we were born. And then we just kind of kept going with that belief system, that thought process, that emotional state, and repeated it and repeated it and repeated it and repeated it until it became a part of our identity. And we're also interacting with society and experiencing society and what those rules are within our society, and the way we're supposed to be acting, the way we're supposed to be dressing, the way we're supposed to be thinking, the way we're supposed to be managing our marriage, our parenting. Everything is under some sort of scrutiny. And if you look at the way our world is right now, let me tell you something. I got so much to say about that I'm actually not saying, because quite honestly, I don't want to be a part of the struggle. So now what I want to kind of formulate to you guys is that if you consider looking inward and knowing where your thoughts, feelings, actions, belief systems are coming from, actually turn around, take a moment to really look at yourself, look at the way in which you're believing, the way in which you're thinking, the subliminal things that are going on inside of you that you don't even know are happening. Let me tell you something. There's not anybody, I bet you there's no one exempt. I know I suffer from it. I don't even know I'm suffering. You don't even know you're suffering. We don't even know we actually have a state of being in a like a hostage situation to this prison of our mind. We don't even know that because it's so familiar that it seems like it's the reality. So what I'm throwing out to you there is that we have thoughts that are going on inside of us that we haven't even taken the time to consider. Are these thoughts actually true? Do I even want to follow these thoughts? Do they make any sense to me whatsoever? The other thing is that if anybody on here has not watched Social Dilemma on Netflix, you better get your butt in front of that Netflix show and really watch it, because it is an emergency, basically, that the human mind goes back to the control of our being and who we are inside, because the human mind is basically being taken captive by the airwaves and by social media and by marketing and by social norms that are so confusing right now that nobody even knows what is the correct social norm to follow, because nobody knows what's the truth. And this is a state of confusion that people are just blindly following, like a bunch of like sheep going toward the edge of a cliff, and they're just going to fall off because everybody else is going that way. So I might as well just follow them because they must know where they're going. Well, you know what? That is batshit crazy, because it is time that we took control of our own minds and we started taking a look at what is going on in our mind and how it's being programmed by the things that we're putting into it, by the things that are coming in through our five senses. And those things that are coming into our five senses, do we even agree with them? Or are we just blindly kind of lulled into the observation of these things and like, oh yeah, that kind of sounds like a good idea? Let me tell you something straight up and down. We are the sum of the five people we spend the most time with. We are the sum of the things that we watch on television, the things that we watch on YouTube, the way we scroll is all being recorded, because information is power. Do you guys know that? Information is power. Do you know that the social media probably knows more about you than you do? What do you think of that? That's freaking crazy. Okay. Anyhow, this is weird being alone and just going on, but I'm going to just keep doing it. So listen, people, I'm going to go back to what I was saying about that. If we look at the way women, I began this conversation discussing the way women think. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a little download. Simple. Basically, women and most people are constantly scanning for trouble and they don't even know it. They're scanning for what could go wrong in a room. They're scanning for what are the problems that could occur, and then they're writing stories about it, and then they are feeling the feelings that are related to the stories that they just wrote about it. They're experiencing stress, okay? Stress, my friend, is a choice. Stress is basically fear. It is chronic in our society. It is a basically disease causer. It is one of the primary causes of most diseases. And we continue to bow down to stress as our form of protection, and it's not. So basically, stress is just an accumulation of, how would I put this? Let me put it a little differently. Stress is the way in which we interpret our environment, environmental situations, the way we interpret different interactions, the way we interpret our time, the way we interpret our calendar, the way we interpret what is expected of us. And then that interpretation creates an anxiety that we call stress. And then we all collectively agree that, yeah, man, I'm so stressed. I'm so busy. Oh, gosh, I'm so busy. And we actually applaud that. How about we don't call it stress anymore, and we don't bow down to stress, and we say to ourselves, hey, you know what? I get to choose how I feel today, and today I choose peace. I'm a productive person. One of the things I say to myself every day is, dear God, not only how can I be best service to God and man today, but also, dear God, help me to be productive and peaceful. Peaceful and productive, those two things actually can go together. I am not saying that I have that every day, but that is my goal. My goal is to experience peace in the face of external circumstances that feel fiery and uncomfortable, because those things, as you know, the more you experience life, the longer you live, you see they're always there. They don't go away. It's the way we interpret them. If we breathe through them calmly and we say, wow, that looks like a pretty busy day. You know, I am pretty well aware of what I can do in this moment, so I'm just going to do that. And then in the next moment, I'm going to do the next thing I can do, and so on and so on. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Okay, so I always trail off. When Ryan's here, he helps me kind of stay on track, but today's not going to be one of those days. So I accept that, and I hope you do too. Bottom line is, women are stressed, and so are men. Women are taught early on that, especially moms, we're taught that if we're not worried about our kids, we're not a good mom. We are also overwhelmingly impacted and controlled, both obviously, we're aware of it, and we're unaware of that, how controlled we are about what other people think. I know there are men on here who feel the exact same way. I know that our society dictates that we are concerned about what other people think, so it keeps us in an autocorrect state. So like if I am going to wear a certain shoe, or if I am going to say a certain thing, or if I'm going to be silly, something kicks up in my system inside of me that says, don't do that. You'll look weird. Don't do that. People won't like you. What is my goal? So my goal, and if you think about what is your goal today, what is controlling your life today? Who's in charge of your life today? This is something that is super important for us to stop and think about. Who is controlling what I'm thinking, feeling, doing, how I'm acting, the choices I'm making every stinking freaking day? And I think that you are going to be incredibly surprised if you sit for a moment, a good 10 minutes, and evaluate what you've been doing all day and what you've done for the past 24 hours. You may be extremely surprised to find out that your choices, your decisions, your really important acts were determined primarily by your interpretation of what other people, places, and things would think about what you were doing, what you chose. How many choices do you make that are just based on an inner wisdom? that's calm, and that is not coming from chronic fear or a desire to please other people or a desire to look good. Let me tell you something. If you look around, right, you look around our society, you can see that we all want to copy one another. It's very natural. Our brains are like that. We have something called mirror neurons. We do copy one another. Like does beget like. We are drawn to things that are like us. Okay, so one of the things that happens even on social media is that as the information is drawn in about us and the things that we spend more time viewing on social media, those things end up becoming the things, yeah, you're understanding, they become the things that they can advertise to us. The problem with that is that so much of the information that's coming toward us is now catering to us and what we're calling to us and what we believe that we're calling information toward us that is confusing us because it's a biased standard based on what we think, feel, and believe. So if we start off with a very faulty standard of what beauty is, let's say, or we start off with a faulty standard about what finance looks like or what poverty or wealth looks like, if we start out with a faulty standpoint or belief system on anything, we're going to be attracted to all the things that support that faulty perspective, which keeps us uninformed about the realities around us. And that's another question, because how much of this shit is really reality? I don't know. I think a lot of what we're doing right here is props. Now I'm going to throw something out there that is really brain frying and weird, and it's because there's nobody here to stop me, because it's just me in this little office right here, and I can talk about whatever I want. So I'm going to mention the little idea, which is so freaking weird and profound, of E equals MC squared. Okay? Let me tell you what that's about. Okay? So now that theory, that brainiac theory, E equals MC squared, energy equals mass, matter, times the speed of light squared, right? So now, if you think about it, that then all these things that are around us that are solid, you know, our chair, this microphone, which by the way is broken, okay? That's one of the reasons why I couldn't get on here, but let me go back. Okay, E equals MC squared. So these tangible things around us, these solid objects, they are made up of matter. No, I'm sorry. They're made up of energy and information. And the reason that we experience the different solid things differently is because the rate in which they are vibrating, and also because we do not see things or we do not experience things at the speed of light. So most of the information that's happening that we don't see, because we don't see most of what's happening around us. And that's the weirdest part of it all. So I want to throw out to you that our perception is definitely not based in a realistic perspective, because there's a lot happening around us that's not seen, heard, smelt, felt, tasted, because we only gather information through our five senses primarily. So the information that goes into our conscious mind in 1 second is 40 pieces of information. The information that comes into our mind unconsciously in 1 second is 20 million pieces of information. We are so hell-bent on the 40 pieces of information that we have taken in that we fight with other people, and we are angry at other people because they don't have the same perception that we have based on the limited amount of information that they gathered in the last second. I can't even tell you how many marital sessions I have had with people going back and forth. No, you said this. No, you said this. No, you said that. No, I was there. I remember. I wish I had a recording. If I had a recording, I'd be able to show you what you freaking said. I tell them stop immediately because we're never doing this. This will get us 0 places. Okay. Bottom line is that each of our reality, when we're looking at the same thing, is probably a different reality. And it's true for us in that moment because that's the information we've gathered. So, and the way that we gather information is based on these belief systems and this kind of network of information that's stored in our body from our history. So, what I'm throwing out to you guys is that it is time to wake the hell up. That's why this podcast is called Mission Awake. I am here to bring information to you, to wake you up, to wake me up, to be aware of the now, the moment that I'm in. What am I experiencing right now? What is fueling what's happening around me? What is fueling the decisions I'm making? And what is keeping me from being the person that I've meant to be my entire life since I came on this planet? I believe God planted me here, for God's sakes. But whatever your belief system is, I want to make sure that I get where I'm meant to be. And every moment is a new decision. So this Woman of Excellence group that I am doing on Facebook is based on the idea that every single solitary day spent awake, spent aware, living in the truth, and being aware of what is running this system, what's running the way we think, what's running the way we feel, what's running the decisions we're making. If we are aware of the fuel that is fueling our life, and we then say, you know what? God has given me creative ability to create things and to bring goodness and light and love to this earth and become everything I'm meant to be, everything that was placed in me from the time way before I was born, and what has been put inside of my DNA to create greatness on this earth and to make a difference where I stand. So basically, I'm going to stop following the bullshit that I've been following for the last whatever 20, 40, 50, 60, God only knows years. It's time to wake up and start today. Today is all we have. Today is now. So now means I know what I'm thinking now. And I know, wait a minute, is that thought based on a memory? Is it based on history? Is it based on something that already happened that doesn't exist right now? That based on regret, based on anger, based on fear? What is that thought based on? And am I going to continue to follow that damn thing for the rest of my life? Because every thought I thought today is a thought I thought yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And how many more times am I going to let that thought be in charge of my outcomes and where I end up? I mean, we get one damn go around here. When are we going to wake up and start living it actually without other people, places, things, government, society, illusion, history, trauma, mistakes to determine the outcome, the creation of your life? This is all we have. Right now is today, the day that you create the life that you are meant to create. We don't wait till tomorrow or Monday. Where did that even come from? What the hell does Monday even mean anyhow? Holy shit, I need Ryan here. I need like a sound or something. Maybe let's see. I got to show like a depressed sound. So if I go into my past, then I'm in depression, then I'm in regret, then I'm building something out of something maybe that didn't work. Okay? If I go into my future, let's see what we could do here. I don't know. What would he do here? No, that's no good. If I go into my future, I don't know. Going into the future is all about anxiety. Let me tell you something. You go into your future, I'm going to show you what future is. I'm using all these sounds. Listen, I got to do something here because it gets boring when I'm all alone. And I don't care what other people think, so I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm alone in here. Okay, ready? Chickalooks. Check this out. I go into my future. That's your future, babe. Ready? Here is your past. Here's your future. Freaking scary. Because when we write stories into the future and we're living in the future and we're running on the future and oh my God, and what, what if that, what if this, you know what if something great happens? What do you think about that? How does something great happen in the future? When you live today. That's how something great happens in the future, when you take care of today. When you're in the past and you're depressed and regretting, when you're in the future and you're in anxiety because you're trying to control the future, you're trying to stop the future from happening the way you don't want it to happen, instead of using your imagination, your vision, your focus to drive your damn future the way you want it to go by being in the now, today, to create it, for God's sakes. Holy but Jesus. This is living in the now. La, la, la. I'm in my now. Right now, in my now, I'm safe. Right now, what's going on around me? This is my, my entire world right now. If I looked, holy but Jesus. I look around this room. Let's look. What's happening here? Basically, I'm all by myself. I'm all by myself in this room, and my world's a very friendly place because I'm just with me. Think about it. Where are you right now? If you're driving in your car, let me tell you a little tool I used. And look, check this out. I got to show you guys this. You see this? One of my nails is not painted. And I actually started to be like, oh no, I should cover that up. And I started doing it with my microphone that's broken here. See, my microphone is broken. So check it out. And then I said to myself, you know what? Who cares? Who does this not happen to? That your nails are not painted because they chip off. Who gives a rat's patoot? Really? Okay. That's what I'm saying to the women out there. We spend so much time fighting the reality, fighting the truth. Let me tell you something right now. The truth is good enough. And I'm going to write a book, and it's called The Truth is Good Enough. Okay. So I'm actually in the process, by the way. Could use a little encouragement. You want to encourage me to write this damn thing? Because I've been sitting on this thing forever. Okay. Listen, I need you guys to hear what I'm saying. And then I'm going to wrap it up. Bottom line is that if we are not in charge of our day, if we're not in charge of our lives, if we're not in charge of our now, this moment, this second, the moment I'm in, then we have nothing. Okay? Because right now, the now that I'm in is all I have. If I look into my future, then I'm writing a story that hasn't happened. When I look into my past, I'm following a story that has, and my interpretation of that story. So if you had setbacks in the past, what you may be following is your belief system about a setback. So I'm going to throw my little plug in about setbacks. Setbacks are our education, and we look at them as gold. Every stinking mistake, anything that comes before us, we live in the solution and not in the problem. Okay, so what I want to say to you guys about this Woman of Excellence group, and I just really want to ask that you guys would really please, I'm asking a favor of you guys out there, anybody who listens to me, please ask women to friend me on Facebook. It would be Allison Lager, LCSW, CASAC, and ask them to request to be in that group, because let me tell you what that group is. It's basically a video of me under 5 minutes every single day at 5 a.m. There's a video that's put out there every single morning that is about being awake, aware, and in charge of your life. And basically what it is, it gives you a 24-hour challenge that's super simple. It's about all different kinds of things, about being aware of what you're angry about being aware of what you're guilty about being aware of how you're people-pleasing, being aware of what other people think and how much that influences you. These are just some of the topics and the challenges. And every day, women show up there and they listen to the video a couple of minutes, and then they go through their entire day, and they come back the next day and they comment and they talk about what their experience was in the attempt of changing the way their mind works, changing the way they think, changing their wiring. This is what we need to be doing. We need to be changing the wiring in our brains one day at a time, one now at a time. It doesn't happen with some big boom. It happens with incremental changes. I am in the process of demonstrating the power of small moves and how those things accumulate and they explode and blow up in people's lives. They make such a difference because an accumulation of moments put together well creates a lifetime of wow, of excellence, of beyond anything you could ever dream of in your life. And I am strongly encouraging anybody who knows a woman who wants to be a part of this mission to change the face of the female, to change the inner workings, the literal torment that women go through day in and day out, struggling with these thoughts, feelings, this prison that they've created for themselves. I really want to ask you guys to spread the word, give it to women, have them, they can email me. My email is allison@lagercounseling.org. And the way Allison is spelled is always with one L. And it's Allison at Lager, like the beer, Lager, counseling.org. And if they could also friend me on Facebook. They could comment on any of the podcast platforms. They also could find me on lagercounseling.com. They also could email me. I said that. I don't want to do the whole other emails, but the other, Instagram. They could get in touch with me on Allison Answers Instagram and also Lager Counseling Instagram. And let me tell you, you just send me a message and you ask to be invited and you're a female, I will invite you. Another thing I'm about to do is I'm going to do a YouTube podcast shot in the arm. It's going to be 5 to 10 minutes. You can listen to my rant for 5 to 10 minutes a day on your way to work to get you straight in your mind, straight in your thinking of excellence, moving towards success, not allowing distorted thoughts and feelings that are stored in your body that have no basis for reality to be running your life anymore. So anybody who's interested in that, I would love, 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 love for you to please message me. And let me tell you guys something, I guess, pretty special. We are going to ask that you guys comment and congratulate Ryan on his baby girl because she's perfect. And I think that he will be very happy to hear everybody's, comments about that. And also I want to utilize how this has definitely changed Ryan. Ryan is my co-host, by the way, and it has changed him as a human being to have this baby in his life, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Also, listen, guys, we are doing a bunch of digital programs. Also, we have a digital program for moms who are new to motherhood, but it's also for women who have kids under 18. And it's all about women, their identity, and then their own child development and what their experience was and was not, and how their child development went throughout their life and how it impacts the way they mother. And it also works on mothering and marriage and mothering and your identity. And that digital program is me. I I basically do my rants on the video, and I talk about all the different parenting techniques that really, really work. They're freaking like magic, I'm telling you. And it's all about healthy relating with our kids and healthy relating with ourselves. So those programs are actually programs you can buy individually. And there are 10 sessions, and there's a PDF, and there's also a book that comes with each one, like a journal. And then there are, we also have groups at Lager Counseling Services in both locations where you can actually do the actual group at the counseling center. And you can participate with a group of women who also do that. We also do them digitally as well, groups with that. And you can do it individually. We also have a group for ACOA issues, which are really like family of origin stuff that happen that really, really impact people. And we go through all the roles, the rules, the secrets the experiences that people have in their childhood and how it continues to impact their life. And we work through mother issues, father issues, that sort of stuff. We have another group for personal development where we go through blueprints, and we go through the blueprint that is made up in all areas of life: physically, socially, emotionally, financially, vocationally, spiritually, and in terms of your enthusiasm and fun. And basically, we go through those blueprints and we pull out your core beliefs, your core thoughts, the feelings that you felt most that are influencing and basically determining your outcomes in your life. So we do that. We also have another group that's a mom's group for moms of adult kids. And that group is, I have to say, that's pretty incredible, that group. The women who have done it are really blown away because it really, really talks about, it faces the issues that moms have once their kids are grown and they don't have that freaking control over them, and the scary shit that happens with grown kids. Yeah. And that you really don't have the power to protect them anymore. And there's that. But then there's all the sense of identity that feels like it's slipping through your hands as a mom as you watch your kids grow and you try to reorient yourself to your womanhood, to your identity, to your value on this earth, and to your marriage or to not being married, or all the various things that come up. And we talk about codependency and family of origin stuff that gets kicked up as well. We also are starting another one. It's a codependency group. It's for women who are finding themselves over and over again in bad relationships, or they're finding patterns that they just cannot believe they're repeating again. And it's about codependency and about how women and men abandon themselves to please others and they get lost in the process. And we also have a digital program for eating disorders, and it addresses all the different nuances that happen in body image, the suffering inside of the mind of somebody with an eating disorder, and how it relates to your childhood and the mother wound, the father wound, the identity of self. We do exercises where the person gives a voice to their binge and gives a voice to their relationship with food, and how the way they relate to food is the way they relate to life. So these are, I'm giving some plugs here for our programs because I never do that. I never advertise in this way, but I feel like if I want to make an impact the way I do on this earth, that I do have to tell people what I have to offer. And I had a blueprint against sales since I'm a little girl. I always thought it was wrong to sell things to people, to share money based on what you're giving them, that you should always give things away for free. And I believe in that. And I give a lot of stuff away for free because I want to, and because that's my mission on earth. I want to make an impact on this earth before I die. But there are some things that just cost a lot of money to make. And, I do have to, in order to run our counseling centers, we do need to flourish so that we can continue to grow and continue to share what we have with as many people as we can. So I thank you so much for listening to this long end of this podcast where I'm sharing what we got. I hope you guys are super, super blessed. I hope that you get everything that you really need in your life, and that I hope that some way I've added a bit of sunshine and a breakout and maybe some discomfort that will make you so damn uncomfortable in your mediocrity that you never can be the same again in that place. Be blessed. Have the best day ever. And I hope you can hear this music. Be blessed, my friends. for listening, guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Make it a good day. You're in charge of it. Thoughts, feelings, actions, all of it. Be blessed.